Okay. Happy Sunday, everyone.
Thank you.
We are back with the Fortified webinar series on security, and today is day 2 of protecting our kids. Our usual host, regular host, is engaged elsewhere, so I'm taking the seat, and I'm having a discussion with Betty Grace. She's back from the previous episode on protecting our kids. Betty Grace is a teacher who is passionate about shaping young minds. Alongside with her husband, she runs a school called Hillbrook Learning Institute, where they are creating a nurturing environment for learning and growth. With dedication to education and community development, she inspires and empowers future generations to reach their potential. So, to set the ball rolling for today's episode, I think we'll recap what we did the week before last, right? That was 2 Sundays. Yeah, so Betty, wherever you want to start from to do the recap, please go ahead. The stage is yours.
Yes, please. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I can hear you.
Okay. So the last time we talked about security concerns on the way to school, in school, and then from school. I'll do a quick recap. And then I think I'll major on emotional security today because that is the basis of security everywhere. So on the way to school, we talked about and there are those children who are sent to school by their parents, and then there are those who go to school by themselves. Children in moving cars should be strapped, car seats, seat belts. They shouldn't be walking around, moving around. Those who use them, maybe the parents don't drop them, they go with a school bus. The parents must ensure that the bus has seat belts or car seats, if depending on the child's age. And then again, those who go by themselves should be
Can
consistently
I
should
can I please ask a question?
yes,
I want to
please.
make sure I heard you right. You said if they are being conveyed by a school bus, the parents should make
Yes.
sure the school bus has straps
Yes.
in the seats. Well,
And it's being used.
that's a very good. I personally haven't thought of it that way. I don't think I've ever looked at it like
Yes.
that. But that's a very good tip. Thanks so much. Please go ahead.
Because it's because we are in Ghana, most of these things are not really um they are not really enforced, but then it's important. So it's the parent's duty to ensure that whatever vehicle the child is in is safe. Then, so if the child is going to go by themselves, first of all, make sure everything the child needs they have. Sometimes they'll not have everything they need, which is fine. The parent must teach the child that if you do not have it, you don't go and get it without my permission, so that the commute from home to school is straight from home to school, no diversions, they don't go anywhere. In school, parents must be aware, must have a way of must they must ask the school questions. What is my child doing? Who is my child's teacher? Of course, there's a way to go about it, which would make you a little annoying. And sometimes we have two groups of parents who are really, really cautious, and then those who are just they don't mind. There's a balance. There's a way to get information and you are not annoying. And actually,
I
schools
think I'll be
like
batting. Excuse me. I think I'll be batting a few more times because this is very
mhm,
educative. So, you sitting from the, you sit at the side of, let's say, teacher, school runner. So, please give us a sound bite of where uh, an example of a parent not being annoying. Okay, when they are asking about, okay, my son Quincy, who teaches them, doing what you recommended. Please give us a soundbite, an example. Give me an
um,
example of it.
Okay, so first of all, make an appointment with the school. Don't just walk in. That's one of the most inconvenient things. Make an appointment, find out who to call to make an appointment. Don't walk in to school during school hours unless you have an appointment. Maybe you have spoken to an administrator and you have an appointment during school hours, but don't walk in without an appointment during school hours, and get the right person to talk to. This is my child. I'm their parent, and they will have. If the school doesn't ask you to verify to prove you're the parent, you have to start questioning them. You have to prove you are the child's parent, and then after that, just
Please, please,
I
please re-echo that for me. You said something I don't want anybody to miss. I think you said if the school, for example, I work in Ham Jonathan Ajiman, I want to, I'm here on behalf of Kwesi Ajiman. And what you're saying
yes,
is that if the school doesn't go ahead to say, prove you're Jonathan Ajiman, and probably
yes,
go through the records to
yes,
verify that Jonathan Ajiman actually has access to Kwesi Ajiman
mm-hmm.
as a parent,
Yes,
then I should be
yes,
asking questions as a parent, because it means
yes.
someone could
Anyone,
come in and
well,
then yes,
yeah,
and then okay, great.
anyone
Anyone
can
that
walk in and then claim that they have. You shouldn't be able to just walk in and bring your child something. That is dangerous. Anyone can do that in that case. So, so we are talking about how to ask your school for information nicely.
yeah.
So first of all, get the appointment. Let them tell you when to walk in, when to come in, and then you may want to meet your child's teacher. But if you are going to talk to the child's teacher, you probably won't be allowed to talk to the child's teacher during school hours because they are busy with your kid and other kids. So fine, get the appointment. I think that's the most important thing. It'll be the protocol will be different in every school, but then get the appointment. And then relationship. We relate to human beings all the time. Go in, don't be first of all, you shouldn't attack the school because some parents come in and it looks like they are trying to tell us we are wrong and we don't even know what they are talking about. So you go in just express curiosity and goodwill. Basically, that's all you need.
Maybe if I should come in here, probably we should look at it. I'm trying to wear my hat as someone who does a lot. I have to, because of business, right? And I found that the best way to go into potentially situations that could be explosive or where people have different interests is for me to see it from the point of view that we are actually partners. Our
Yes,
outcomes align.
yes,
So if parents are coming in knowing that, oh, I care about my son or my
yes,
daughter, but then the
yes,
school also it reasonably
exactly.
they care about the children too, right?
Yes,
They usually
yes,
would care about the children. We come
yes,
from that point of view rather than coming all guns blazing to throw
yes,
punches. Okay.
yes. And the
Sorry, so I think
school,
I sidetracked you there. Sorry, there was a glitch. I sidetracked you
yes,
with my question on how to go about not be offensive as a parent when we are approaching our the school for our kids, right? We are the
yes.
school teachers. So let's go back to what we're talking about.
Okay, but then before that, the school really cares about your child, even
Sure.
if it's just for purposes of making money. They care. They must care about your child. Caring for your child means their success. So they care about your child. If you ever meet a staff of a school that doesn't seem to care about your child, report them because management cares about your child and that problem should be fixed. So back to security on the way to school. So you must make sure, and I think it's the parent's duty to ensure that they talk with the child. Make sure that your child is not going anywhere apart from to school. And this brings SmartApp up again because normally a parent knows just how long it should take a child to get to school. If by the from the time they left the house to the time they get to school, there's a way to get a notification that your child is in school. It's very, very important. Smart app is not that complicated. It is not it's not overly expensive. It is very, very much worth the investment. And if your child's school doesn't have it, please suggest it to the school. Let them talk to any of them. They have what do you call those? They have teams who will educate the management on what to do and all that. It's very, very, it's worth anything you pay for it, and they are not asking for much.
So if I may come in here, and Smart App, please, we'll be sending you a bill for advertisement. So Smart App is a
Yes.
school management
Oh yes, yes, yes,
application.
yes, 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 yes.
Fortunately, Fortified is in talks with them to see how we can collaborate. And a school management application, but what they've done, and it's very innovative, is that they have some sort of a tracking system. Not some sort of tracking system that uses is QR code based. Apart from all the
Mm.
other things they do with the management, so you're getting school reports,
Yeah.
etc. On the
Mhm.
parent side, there's this security feature inbuilt into their software where when a student, let's say a child comes to school, they are doing what happens in school. They are clocking at what happens. They are doing what happens at work. They are essentially clocking in. So my son Kwesi Ajuman is clocking in, and you can see Kwesi Ajuman reported to school at 7:30. And Betty is saying that if we know that the commute from home to school is roughly around 30 minutes, and Kwesi left home at 7. When he's clocking out, we expect the clocking to come around 7, or worst case maybe 7:35. Beyond
Mhm.
35, we should be calling and finding out
Yes.
probably from the school
Yes.
bus driver or the
Yes.
designated driver what's happening. Has there been traffic on the road, etc., etc. Yeah, okay. Betty Grace, sorry, today you have to bear with us. Irabna has made a comment, two comments actually. The first one was, this makes a lot of sense. I don't know what to connect you to, but she makes a point. Said there must be some schools who don't necessarily care for the children. I think she's trying to ask a question, like it's a question, but she's making a point. And she's saying, what must a parent look out for in their choice of a school? I think the end being, you want to make sure you can rest assured that the management and teachers and probably other staff of the school actually care about my ward, and it's not my assumption at all. It makes sense for the school to care about my ward.
Okay, I'm going to get a little bit controversial. I hope it's not controversial, but heads up.
Yeah, let's
Normally,
go on. Let's go.
normally the
Mhm.
price really matters. What you are paying for the education counts.
That's
The
not
schools,
controversial.
the schools that we can boldly say don't care about the children, they don't make enough money from the children because from the business. Because once you are making enough and it's a good source of income for you, you'll take care of it. And there's no parent who will take their child to, normal parents don't take their children to schools which don't show that they care. For example, your
Mhm.
child can walk in and out at any time, and there's nothing wrong with that. Teachers are walking around talking anyhow to children, and there's no one you can report to. That okay, first of all, so I'm talking to parents. We all have deep instincts. Once you feel uncomfortable about something and you cannot share it in your child's school, there's a problem. You must be able to share everything you're uncomfortable with. Even if it comes across the wrong way, you must be able to share. And it should be listened to, it must be dealt with. Sometimes you may be wrong, but then you must have someone there who is in charge of listening to you. If things like this are not in place and you keep feeling my child is not fine, I wouldn't want to, I'm not comfortable with leaving my child here, you should take your child out. You should get your child out no matter what anyone is saying, because the cost of the price you will pay when your child has been harmed is it's higher than any other thing. So once you're uncomfortable with, and parents must look out. Parents must be conscious. Um, there are different people expect different things. So I'll leave this to the discretion of the parents. Personally, I will not take my child to a school where they walk in and no one knows they've walked in. And then there's a way they can get out and no one knows they're out. Or I can call the school out, just getting information, getting information. And I am trying to say something concrete, but I think most of it I'm leaving to the discretion of the parent. But first of all, don't be in a hurry to take your child to a school you think is affordable. There are good schools which are affordable, but you must be careful that there are no collateral damages elsewhere. Instead of money, you are paying in the child being harmed, the child is not well cared for. It could be a lot of different things. So it's that the parents, I'll leave this to the parents' discretion, but please, please, please don't leave your child where you cannot leave your mobile phone. Maybe, yeah. Maybe, I don't know if that makes sense. So I'll get back on track, back to on the way to school. So we've talked about taking them in through different. There are different ways of doing that. There are different ways of verifying. What we use is smarter. Then now in school. So the last time I mentioned bullying. Bullying is one of the issues in school. And it could come from either the teacher or the children. Normally it comes from the peers. But there have been times when teachers have bullied children. And this is something a parent should be able to detect at home from how their child is behaving. I am not stressing on what teachers should do because I'm talking to parents, I assume. But there's a role the school must play to ensure there's no bullying, either being bullied by teachers or being bullied by students. But then since we are talking to parents, we'll talk from the angle of what parents should be doing. When children are bullied, normally you can tell from their behavior when they have to go to school. They are not very happy to go. And then they come home and you realize they are not, because normal children, they come home and they have things to say about school, and my friend did this, and my teacher did this, and as they are growing, it changes. But then you will notice that your child doesn't really have too much interest in school. They are aloof. The child could be a quiet child. But as a parent, I'm sure when your child is uncomfortable with something, so fine, today I'll end on emotional security because that will serve as where you will detect all the problems. So bullying in school by kids or by their teachers. Then now the security, general security of the school, the environment of the children, being able to get, if not live feed, some form of surveillance. And if there isn't surveillance for a lot of different reasons, the teachers must be able to give you good accounts of things that happen. For example, if your child is hurt, the teacher of the school in the classroom should have a good idea how it happened. It could be only a good idea because the teacher is in charge of maybe at least 10 children. So they may not know exactly what it is, but then the teacher must be able to tell you this and this and this and this and this happened around the time the incident happened. So there's the safety of the environment of the classroom, and then accidents, illnesses, like the other gentleman was talking about first aid. Your child's school must be well versed in first aid. They must have training. I have personally undergone a first aid training, and it's necessary. Normally, a lot of accidents happen in school. All these things are very, very avoidable. Another thing parents must notice, take note of, is how often does my child get hurt in school? If my child is getting hurt once a week, it's too much. Once every week, my child is coming home with a scratch, with a bite, with a some physical injury, it's too much. Something is going wrong. It's once a month is even bad, but then it's let's say we'll take it. But so this will come back to class sizes. So this is also sort of an answer to a rest question. The
Mm-hmm,
class
mm-hmm.
size of your child's school. The class teacher child ratio changes from stage to stage. In a baby class, let's say from zero to one, it is advised that the ratio is, I think five is okay. If we are going to stretch it, we will say 6 to 1 teacher. In
That's for
the
the
class
babies. For the babies,
from
right?
0 to 1, no, four. Four is standard. It's because babies are feeding, they are sleeping, their nappies are being changed and all that. Anything
So
above four is
four,
really stressful for the teacher.
four teachers to one.
Children to
Sorry,
one teacher,
sorry. That's what I meant to say. My
babies.
what came up. My mouth is different from what I was saying. So 4 babies to one teacher.
Four babies to one teacher is
And my money mind, which I'm not ashamed of because I'm a businessman, is
yes,
going straight to the point you made, which you thought would be controversial. That Charlie, look at the price. Okay, because if a
yes,
school is doing 4 babies to one teacher, right? Then I mean we can all do the math. So we should have an idea, some expectations of
yes.
some rates that if we are being charged for taking care of our kids.
You should be worried.
So I don't think
You
it
should.
was controversial at all. Please look for more controversial things to see if you make
Thank you very
intentional.
much. The permission.
Anyway,
So class
please let's go.
size, class size really matters.
Okay.
From age, let's say 1 to 2, 1 to 3, 7 to 10 per teacher. Yeah, it's getting dangerous. So let's keep it at 7 kids per teacher.
Between
From
the ages
let's
of
say
1 to 3.
1 to 3, yeah, 1 to 3. Anything more than
Shouldn't be up-
10, stay away from it. 1 to 3. From 3
and, and,
to
and implied in what you are saying is that when I want to take my child to a new school, Hillbrook Learning Center Institute, I should actually go around. Is it okay from where you sit? Is it okay for me, a prospective parent, come around and say, please, can I take a walk through your class?
yes,
Okay.
you should ask, and then maybe you'll be given time to come back. Because with babies, we may be going through activities and they are so easily distracted that once the parent, anyone else walks in, our activity will be interrupted. So you tell the school, inform them. It would have been best if it could have been done when the school is not aware, so that you catch them doing the real thing. Unfortunately, for security measures, you cannot just walk in.
Yeah.
Normally, you shouldn't be able to walk in. So you have to let the school know, and the school will have to tell you when it's okay for you to come. So class size in relation to accidents. If there are too many children that the teacher is caring for, obviously a lot of things are going to go unnoticed by them.
Yeah.
And a lot of needs will not be met. So please consider class sizes when you're choosing a school for your child. It's very important. So I was talking about accidents happening in school in relation to child security. I'm going to quickly jump to commute from school to home. If the parent is picking the child up, hopefully it's safe. But please take note when you get to the child's school, what are the processes that you have to go through? First of all, you have to be verified as a parent, and it must be recorded that you've come for the child at this time. If it's the same as for when you're dropping them in, if you're able to just get up and pick your child up, let's say everybody's on the playground, you go, you look through, you say, hey, you, I'm here. It's normal for Ghana, but then it's a little worrying. It may happen that it's not the parent picking the child. Maybe you have a driver who has been picking the child up, but you do not want the driver to be picking the child anymore. The school must be aware, and then they have to confirm that this person is allowed to pick my child up. What I'm saying sounds like a lot of work, but when something goes wrong, you would realize that this is the easiest thing to do.
So from where I sit, right, on this point, from where I sit, the schools, we as a service provider have been providing security for, right?
Mhm.
I actually
Mhm.
go in there, and when it comes to, I don't know if you see that happening to me with you, when it comes to the nitty-gritty of what the tools, CCTV can do this, can do that, what the proprietor is telling me about what they need, it's always a learning curve for me. We've been doing this for lots of years, but every time it's a learning curve for me. I'm just saying this to put it out there that if your particular school is laissez-faire, they are cheating you. Because I've dealt with
Yes,
schools, I'm not exaggerating if I say over a decade, and everyone I've been through, even this year, it's like me, the security person, I'm learning from schools. So there are lots of
yes,
schools who are very, 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 very serious about the security of children, and especially when it comes to pick up, what do you call it? Picking up of the
drop.
kids. My mind is always blown, even me, the security person. I'm like, whoa, and I'm taking mental notes, you know. So if your school is not doing it, they are cheating you.
And
It's a
we we really struggle as school management because parents are almost always in a hurry to come. Just so one of the best the things that attract parents to schools would be how quickly you can drop your child off, how quickly you can pick them up. It's important. You like
wow.
things. Yes, it's a selling point. You get parents threatening you, oh, you people take too long when I'm coming for my child and all that. And
I
that
see.
ways to make the process a little easier. But then
Back
please
to smart
don't
app, right?
back to smarter. But please don't compromise on the safety of your child. Once you have easy access, you should be questioning things. It means other people have easy access to your child, and that is not good. Every time you send someone to pick your child up that the school doesn't know, you should let the school know. Or if you are not able to let the school know, you should be expecting that they get in touch with you to ensure that you know they are coming, else is coming for your child. Otherwise, tell yourself that anyone else can come and pick your child.
So let me
And
rephrase it. Sorry, am I
mm,
barging in or it's okay to come in? Let me
it's
rephrase just what
fine.
you said. So let's say I sent my driver, someone, or even, yeah, someone that to go pick up my child. Then hopefully upon hindsight, I found that no, this person, I've not introduced them to the school that they were able to
Yeah,
pick up my child, right?
please question people.
Yes, it should be a red flag. That means
It
security is
should be a red
lax.
flag. It
Yeah,
should
I
be a
should be
red
concerned.
flag. It should be
That's a
a
very,
it
very
should
good
be
point.
a big red flag.
That's
They should at least call you. Otherwise, they should blast you. That you know we don't know this person, and you send them. And we have had instances where parents have threatened us that if you can't reach me and you will not give my child to the person I sent, then you have to keep the child the whole day. And that is not pleasant because we have working hours, we close.
yes, yes, yes.
And so normally teachers are really in a hurry to get rid of all the children in school. So normally telling parents that we have to confirm it really doesn't help us much because we want to close. We have things to do. Maybe it's time to go home. But we are still here because one particular child is here. And the only reason why we are still at work is because someone came to pick them and we refused to let the child go with them. Normally, it is not a pleasant thing to do. So if the parent also sort of shows very unpleasant behavior in that regard, you are putting your child in danger. So every single time you're asking someone to pick your child up, the school must be aware of it. And there must be a few things you've put in place to ensure that the person I sent is the one who is picking my child up. Okay, so that would be it for the and then again, please ensure your children are not going. Don't send your children on the way from school. Did I put that right? Don't give them. Don't send them on errands.
Errands,
Yes,
errands.
don't send them on errands before they get home from school. They'll be. They could for a lot of different reasons. One could be that there'll be days you haven't sent them and they'll go somewhere. The other issue is that you know they're supposed to close at a certain time, and you cannot ever be sure whether they got home at the right time. What did they do on the way? Because you've been sending them. You must make it a rule that they get home first before they go anywhere else. Then you can estimate that, okay, my child is safe, my child is not safe. Because the sooner you raise the alert that I can't find my child, the better it is for your child to be found. So I think I'm done with the recap from last 2 weeks. I've taken a lot of time.
No, so
Should I?
so to anchor everything back, I think these points you raised, I don't know if I can trust my memory very well, but then going in direct reverse, what you just spoke about, ease of access to our kids, especially when I'm picking them off, right? And then
Yes.
two, student to teacher ratio, right? Those
Yes.
two factors, if I've forgotten anything, please help me out. Those two factors are a response to a question that was asked, that what are some of the
Oh,
things to look out for, right?
okay, okay, okay. Things to
Feel
look out
safe.
for.
Yeah, that's what we're doing with those two. Those two factors were supposed to answer that question. I just want to confirm
Yes.
that, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And the price, what the school fees are.
Wonderful. Thank you. The school fees. I don't know why I forgot that one. I
Cost,
couldn't forget it.
the
Yeah,
cost
so,
of the school, because
okay.
the school is paying for a lot of things parents don't know about. A lot of things you won't think about. But if we were all to bring our children to your house, you'd know you were paying for those things. Maintenance bills, cleaning bills, electricity, and then apart from that, taxes from the different state organizations.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So when you factor all that in and the school is charging, hey, you must be worried about how much you are paying at your child. Basically, that is it. So there's a question I can see on the screen.
Yes, Esther Jaman. Let me
Yes.
see. Do you charge? Let me see. What's happening? Uh,
Do you charge
uh,
these
these
parents
parents, when they send unverified persons to pick up their children. Okay, I think she's
their
talking about penalties. So you should.
penalties for picking? Yeah.
I
Over
don't
here,
know.
no.
Yeah, from what I'm sitting, I say, from even where I run, I don't think. I mean, because we
No.
always think about customer satisfaction too. So
Yes. We don't
yes.
charge them for sending unverified persons. We charge
Mm.
them for overstaying in
Staying,
the
yes. Then it's become, how do you call that thing? Babysitting. Is babysitting has
yes,
come in. Yeah,
yes. We are working outside our working hours, so
hours.
you'll be charged for that. Okay,
Very
so
good. Very,
what I
very, very.
want to talk about today, because all of this comes back to we are talking about the well-being of the child.
Mm-hmm.
And much as parents would like to think that the school is in charge of a big part of their child's education or discipline or upbringing, it's not true.
Mm.
We can never take the place of the parents in the school. We do not have the moral ability, and we do not have the what do you call that? It's not practical because your child is not the only child we are taking care of. Our love is shared among a lot of people. So hopefully there's love. If there's love, it's not just for one child. So before the parent brings their child to the school, the child is already formed because the child is being formed from day one of conception, meaning when the child is in the womb.
Hmm.
And those are the most critical periods in human life. So even if you bring your child to school when they are 1 day old, we cannot take your place as the parent.
Hmm.
So the parent is in charge of the child's security, 100%. The school has a big role to play.
Betty,
but
sorry, today they have to bear with me. I think the key would have done a better job. But so we said the child, the inception period, while they are a fetus, right? You are talking about that formation period, the influences that have influenced them, have formed some indelible prints that are probably can't be undone.
No, they cannot.
When I bring my child to school, I should probably be compassionate, understanding, right, of the school, that there's so much they can do when it comes to quote unquote parenting my child or helping nurture them. Have I understood you right? Okay.
You have. You have. Some of these things, because of what you call plasticity, neuroplasticity, they may not be indelible. They may not be indelible, but they are quite strong. And if they are going to be undone, it's going to take a lot of conscious work. And most of that work is going to have to be done by parents, no matter how much time the child is spending in school. Even if they are in a boarding house, teachers cannot have some amount of influence on the child. So I'm going to end with emotional security. The definition
please,
of emotional
please, teacher. Can I
yes, Jonah. Yes, brother Jonah.
But the truth we also face as parents and guardians is you be telling your child, even sometimes as something as, let me say, banal as the sums, the addition or something. Right?
Yes.
So no. But my teacher said this. So that's the experience as.
I have the same issue with my child.
There you go. So now I'm sitting in the, from where I'm sitting as a caregiver, if you are now the educator, tell me that, oh, there's so much, it's in you the hands of you the parent. And we also see a lot of things where it seems like the educator has a lot more credibility in the eyes of our wards than we do. So how do we make those two facts meet?
So we are an academic institution. Academics is what we should be accountable for. We should be held accountable for. Academics. If you take your child to a very good school, they'll be taught a lot of moral things. But the parent must be in a position to veto what the school has taught morally, in any other aspect of the child's life. All this will happen when you've done your homework well. It is not going to be easy, and it's not going to just get up and happen. You will have to have formed a bond with your child before you can do what I'm asking you to do. Otherwise, you bring your child to school, and we have, I'll say 50% of our parents. Just yesterday, I was talking to a parent, and she says her child is she's the friend of another parent who came to tell us that her child is very stubborn in school, in the house. And I was like, your child is one of the best behaved children in the school. And according to this other parent, that parent was a little ashamed because in that case, am I the problem? You are the problem. I cannot mince words. You are the problem. The reason why you are the problem is, even as adults, we behave differently in different settings. We know how to behave when we're in church. We behave differently when we're at home, when we are with our friends, when we are with our bosses. So when your child is misbehaving in school, in the house, but then is a model student at home in the school, you must be questioning yourself, what is going on? And you are playing a role. And this is scientific because they know where to go for what. They know who will take what from them. So whenever your child is, parents always do this. Parents will come and tell you that we get to a point where parents report misdeeds in the house. They come and report to teachers. Like, my child misbehaved like this, talk to my child for me. And we actually we make progress with that child. The parents will come and tell you, like, if we were not having a good effect on the children, parents wouldn't come and report things they've done in the house to us. But because of what they know, the influence they know we have over their children, they they trust us in that way. It's flattering for us as a school, it's good for our business, but it's not good for you as a parent of your child, because this child is not going to stay in one institution forever. Even if it was possible to do that, they don't spend all their lives there. They don't spend
Yeah.
all their waking moments there. They go elsewhere. So if they are somewhere else where the same boundaries, discipline are in place, it means you've lost control of your child. The parent must be the one that the child comes to. They must be the one that they must have the last word in the child's life, even academically, if it were possible. Of course, maybe the parent is not doesn't know too much about academics. They must be able to get the information they need from the school and then advise the child. And it will be best if the child listens to you more than they listen to their teacher. They're not going to have only one teacher. Every once in a while, a parent will meet a wonderful teacher, but they are not going to stay in that one teacher's class for a long time. Normally, it's 1 year. So if you are as the most constant relationship in their life, if you don't have a lot of influence, they don't trust you, there's so much that could go wrong from that point. So emotional safety is what I'm trying to
Yes.
end. And emotional safety is defined as the state of feeling safe. We are talking about the children's safety here. Feeling safe, accepted, understood when conveying emotions. This is what I will deal with. When conveying emotions. This is very important because normally in kidnappings, child abuse, all the unfortunate things that happen to children that are done by other people, these people, according to statistics, are people the children, strangers, stranger danger. It doesn't form a big percentage of all these unfortunate things that happen to children. It normally happens with people, they are acquaintances, and sometimes even close relations. Normally, what happens is there's a lot of grooming that goes on. So, for example, when you're coming to school, you have an ID card, your name is on it. The person who is trying to get access to your child will take note of these things. And then when they're addressing them, they'll pretend they know them. What emotional safety? So when you have, so first of all, what a parent must do is before you take your child to school, you and the child must have a relationship. Let's say my child, right now, my oldest child is quite young, but when I'm able to, I go for walks with her. I try to talk to her, but child talk is mostly nonsensical. But listen, because what you are doing is you are not listening to what they are saying today. You are building a habit in them of talking to you. That is all you are doing. You want them to talk to you so that when they start growing and then what their friends say starts becoming important to them, they still run them by you. So listen, make your child, brainwash your child. That is what I'm trying to say. And program them to talk to you. However you do that. A few tech and practical things to do will be, I got this from a neurosurgeon, Daniel Amen, and he said every day try and spend anywhere from 15 minutes to 20 minutes playing with your child. That is it. And this play time might be time that you are not issuing instructions, you're not telling them stop this, and you're not distracted in any way, meaning that you must not have any device with you during those minutes.
Please repeat the time slot again. 15 to
He advises 15 to 20 minutes. I'll say
in
for
a
a
day.
start, in a day.
In a day.
In a day, we have 24 hours. Spending 15 to 20 minutes with your child is very cheap, considering
Please, teacher.
Yes, child. Yes.
So if I have 3 kids, is it going to
Yes.
be 45 minutes to an hour, or I can do all the 15 minutes to 20 minutes for all three at the same time.
No, you should have your time. Okay, so let's say one day you do all three of them, but you must prioritize meeting every single one of them at a special time individually. So you could, because of time constraints, maybe you could decide I meet, and it should be a conversation you have with them. The first things every parent should do right from the time the babies are babies, tiny babies, talk to the child. I'm about to change your diaper. We're about to feed. I'm washing your bottles. Make it a habit to talk to your child. Research showed there was a survey. What do you call those things? Very long, extended survey where scientists were studying children, and they tracked a number of children. I'll say 50, and they wanted to record what it was that you a predictor of success in future. And in the beginning, they thought it was rich parents. What they finally concluded on was the number of words the child hears. Because, and normally it's the rich people who talk to their children because they have paid people to do the other things. So they have time, they have they're a little more relaxed. The poor people are always on the go. But the determining factor was the number of words the child hears. So right day one, talk to the child. We are at the hospital now, we are leaving. And this one will be to your benefit. You'll be forming the habit. When the baby is tiny, the number of words they hear is very, very important. It plays a role in how quickly they will read. And how well they read plays a big role in how they will do well academically. So talk to the child even while you are pregnant. They say play classical music, read books to the child, make it a habit. Talk to the child. I'm going to be changing your diaper. We are taking a bath. In the bathroom, I'm washing your stomach. This is your head. As many words as possible should be said to the child. And then when it comes to I'm spending this much time with you, if there's more than one child, sit them down. Even if they are 1 to 3, involve them in the conversation. Even when you know you are the only one who is deciding anything, just let them sit down and feel like they're part of it. And tell them, okay, so on Wednesdays I'll spend time with Fifi. On Tuesdays it will be Yasten, and then on Wednesdays, Thursday, Monday, whatever it is, and then on Friday we'll all have family time. Talk to them. They'll talk back to you. They'll say a lot of things that don't make any sense, but they'll hardly object. Even if they object, no, they won't object. They will not object at that age. Once you have said that, it becomes a habit. As they grow, you can change it because of time constraints. You are not available. What you would have done by then is you would have a relationship with your children. Now, the relationship is important because when a child when a predator starts getting close to your child, the child should know what a safe relationship feels like. And you are the best person to set that example. So
the child knows what a what?
A safe relationship.
Staged.
Safe.
A safe relationship. Got it.
Yes, secure relationship.
Yeah.
Once a predator starts coming close to them, normally a child should be able to come and tell you, hey, on my way to school today, a certain gentleman talked to me. And this will never come up if you are not talking with your children. So they should come and tell you, someone said when I close from school, I should meet him here. When I'm passing here, he said he will walk with me. Or this man gave me a toffee. He gave me a ride. And she said, I am your friend. And she said she's your friend. She knows you. And she even told me my name. Once they start telling you these little things, and normally it's called grooming. The person keeps coming back so that there's a relationship they have formed. If they are white, they will not grab your child and run because the child will scream. But then the very dangerous ones, they form a very terrible relationship with your child, and then your child feels secure at a point, walking away with them without resistance. So when your child knows what a safe relationship is, and they can talk to you, and you can tell them, you tell them things, and they hear you. They know you're not just being foolish. They know you're not just being controversial. They know you're not just being controlling. Then you have a lot of these things to look out for and tell them, I'm not sure what you are doing. What this person, and then you can follow up. Normally, parents who are talking to their child, first of all, you are talking to the child because you know what it's worth. Unfortunately, it's the people who don't talk to their children, whose children fall prey to all these issues. So a predator, first of all, normally predators don't even go after secure children, because once you start talking to them, the child will act a certain way. But I don't know you. Confident children act a certain way. So normally it's the children who don't have emotional security who are preyed on, and it's very unfortunate. But that's what happened. So as
Double
much as
whammy.
yes, as much as possible as parents, we must ensure that our children are not the insecure ones. And there's so much I could say about this, but I think parents have instinct, deep, deep instinct. We've been children before. Remember how naive you were, how vulnerable you were, how many times you could have been in trouble, and by God's grace, you didn't get into trouble. And protect your children against all those things. You cannot do everything, it's true. But normally, I think there's the law of the universe. When you've done your best, nature does the rest for you. So please, our
Powerful.
children are, when a bad thing happens to a child, everything
Mm,
goes wrong. Your work will go wrong, your relationship, everything else in your life will be in danger. So please do the day to day. It's boring. And sometimes it's a nuisance because you are trying to provide for the same children. You are working with the same time. But please, the most important things don't cost money. You don't, I would not even advise you to buy your child a device for Christmas.
mm,
Like for Christmas, we have to go shopping. No, it's not important. There are rich kids
mm,
whose parents will buy everything for them, but in the long run, they grow up and the parents know they are not their friends. And that is a very big unfortunate thing. It doesn't cost money to have a good relationship with your child. Money helps, no doubt about it. But even the poorest of us can have wonderful relationships with our children. And the blessing in that is that little children don't know that they are poor. They don't know. They haven't gotten to the place where they can compare. So up until a certain age, let's say 4, 5, your child doesn't know you are poor. Forget it when you're
mm,
dealing with your child. Try your best to make things better. But your child doesn't know and they don't care. It is
mm,
they're happy, they don't care because they cannot possibly know because they are discovering themselves, they are learning about themselves, their body parts, their own emotions. They haven't gotten to the point where they know what is going on around them yet. Unless you have some very they have some very bad friends around them. They normally don't know.
mm,
Someone who will tell them, look at your shoe. Oh, look at your bag. I have this. Even at that age, it doesn't register yet. But if it keeps going on, eventually to register. But it doesn't cost money to have a good relationship with your child. Sometimes the money becomes a problem because we are busy making it. We are busy ensuring that it is there. And then we are busy making sure the children have comfort and things like that. But the real comfort they need is emotional. So find ways to bond with your child. Like you could go on walks, you could sit down with them, ask them, what happened in school today? My child, when I ask her right now, she tells me a lot of strange things. And I feel like, oh, but because of what I am doing, It's just a habit I'm building in her to come home and talk to me about school. That is all, or any other thing. Right now, I don't allow her to play with other people. She's not allowed to go out and play with the neighbor's kids. No, because I'm not there to control the environment. This is another thing parents should take care of, should be mindful of. When you have managed to find a good school that is charging you a lot of money, don't let your children play with people who are going to, how do I say this well, less paying schools, because you are paying a lot of money. Hopefully, the money you are paying, they are paying the school. They are teaching your child morals, values that other schools are not teaching their children. Don't
Mm.
let your children mingle with them. They are going to throw your pardoned money away. Keep them intentionally, introduce them to circles of children you want them to be like. If your child is playing with someone you don't want them to be like, break the relationship. Move away, buy a new house, do something, because they are going to influence them. So yeah, I hope so. Yes, apart from talking to them, or no, when they have come to talk to you, one of the most important things to do for a child is to validate their emotions. It is very contra, what is the word I'm looking for? Intuitive. Is that the word?
Counterintuitive.
Intuitive. Because we
Mm-hmm.
are used to telling them, don't do this. This is not good. Put it down. So
Okay.
when
Okay.
they start telling us things, it's one of the first things that'll come to mind is it's not true. But when a child doesn't feel safe enough and they think, all these things happen very gradually, so gradually the child doesn't know it's happening, and you, the parent, don't know it's happening either. But it gets to a point where the child just knows that when I tell mommy, she say it's not true. You must guard against that. You must make sure that when the child comes, first of all, you express curiosity. Oh, is that true? Even when they tell a big lie, is that true? And then now break it down. Find a way.
Please,
There are
teacher,
lots of,
please give us an example of what you're talking about so that
for
we keep
example,
it in context.
when your daughter or your son comes and says, I swallowed the car today, that's a foolish lie. But don't tell them it's a foolish lie. As much, maybe you will make a mistake and say it, but then go back. That's another important thing. Make sure you are able to go and correct your wrongs with your child. If you make a mistake because you were distracted, it's allowed. Thankfully, children are forgiving people and they'll give you a lot of chances. They'll make the same mistake over and over and over again. So for some time, you can correct your mistake. When they come in, they say, I swallowed the car. Oh, don't say it's a lie. It's not good to say it's a lie because their imagination is now developing and they are testing it out. Maybe they are lying, but you have to be sure it's a lie before you call it a lie. So if the baby says, I swallowed the car. Oh, you swallowed the car. Which kind of
How big
car
was
was
the
it?
car?
How big was the car? Okay, show me. Can you draw the car? Okay, now let's fit it into your mouth. Let's say the child will
Mouth.
say the car was the size of the pillow. Okay, I'm just really being silly. Okay, so let's take
Yeah.
the pillow. Can you swallow this? And
Wow.
then let's break it down to the point where it's either true, because you must teach a child the difference between a lie and truth too. So there are lots of things you are doing, but there will come a time when the child will come and tell you, maybe, God forbid, but then the child will come and tell you, my neighbor touched me wrongly. If you do not have a habit of listening and considering what they are saying, you dismiss it because your neighbor looks honorable. And then you would have thrown your child to the dogs. So you will have to find a way to, first of all, let the child know there's someone whose opinions you value. When they
Mm-hmm.
talk, you listen. You think what they are saying is worthwhile. When they have expressed something, validate it. Another thing parents normally do is, let's say the child comes and they've fallen down and you are crying, then you tell them, you are not even that hurt. Please keep quiet. What you can do, because sometimes you are right, but you may not know when you are wrong. And when it comes to an emotional hurt, you can never, you are not the judge of that. It's the child who is supposed to judge that. I'm not saying swallow everything they say. No. We are trying to raise children who are aware of themselves emotionally so that when there's danger, they can detect it. That is basically what we are trying to do. So when a child comes and tells me they are hurt, I tell them, hey, oh, sympathize. And then gradually show them. Normally, all that it takes, if it's not a serious thing, is to tell them that, oh, what happened? Oh, no, sorry. Let me see. And then the crying dies down automatically. Gradually, if that becomes an emotional scenario, they can come to you with the minor things and then eventually come to you with the major things. But if as parents, we don't have the habit of, my child is a person. I mean, I started as a baby myself and I've grown to this person. I was being built up the whole time. The same thing is happening with your child. There's no stage at which a switch will be turned on and now the child is being programmed. They are being programmed right from the start, and a parent plays a major role. So, in order to ensure the child is safe, I would say 70% of the work comes from the parent, and you must build emotionally secure children, children who trust their own instincts. And if they cannot protect themselves, they know there are people who they can go to, and that person must be the parent. Please, that person could be their teacher, but it's not the child, and it's not the parent. That person could be a neighbor. It could even be the police. But what kind? Imagine yourself not being able to count on your living parent as the first call for, what do you call that? For help.
When there's an
So it's
emergency.
yes, when there's an emergency. So it's up to the parent to ensure that my child is confident. When they are walking outside and a stranger calls them and says, "Come here," they can tell them, "I'm sorry, my mommy doesn't, my mommy said I shouldn't go." But when you have a timid child and they are afraid of everything, when the older person says, "Come," go. And we want respectful children, but we don't want children who are vulnerable. I think I am.
Wow. So it's glitched a bit at my end. I hope it didn't happen for everyone. This has been very good. I am very grateful for the part you picked on emotional security. And I don't know if you're aware of it, but then security, no matter what security we are doing, let's big up our friends from Smart App again. No matter what we are doing with security, arms, whatever, we are like saying strange things, juju, whatever you're doing. If you sat down with someone who is adept at psychology, the basis it comes to is it's your mindset.
It's your
No matter what
mindset.
we do for you with security, at the end of the day, all we've done is that we've equipped you mentally and emotionally. You know, a friend of my colleague says, look, there are houses that would never need security, you know,
Yes.
because of lots of reasons that we shouldn't even go to, maybe decoys and etc. So security actually is an emotional thing. And I'm very grateful for how you approached it. Like, so basically, we are fortifying our kids,
Yes.
we make them emotionally secure. And
Yes.
that example you brought up, I don't find it silly in any way. That a car thing for me has been such a huge lesson. I've never thought of things from that point of view. Probably if I was in a very good mood, I will now be teasing the child, you know, but with this intention in mind, that now let's be scientific about it, draw it. Is it as big as this? Could you really have swallowed this, etc., etc.? And in a way, we are even what you said about we are validating their imagination.
Yes.
I think almost any sane or any healthy human being knows the power our imagination plays in improving us, even as adults. So if there's anything I'm doing to stifle a child's imagination, injuring the child. So I personally am so grateful for your approach, your insights, bringing it from neurosurgery, etc., etc. Whether knowingly or not, we've gone 8 minutes beyond our time. But Ira said something else. Let's handle it and then go, because it's important. A lot of comments are here, but let me pick this one from Ira again. She said, "Thank you, Betty. Any tips on how a parent can influence their child, especially when there is a clear gap?" I think you've addressed a lot of it in there, but if you can quickly give us a little bit of a pill we can give to correct. If I find out that my relationship with my little child, from what you've said, doesn't measure up, what are some quick fire um, measures I could put in place to start repairing the relationship?
The first thing to remember is that the parent-child relationship is the only relationship in the world you will ever have where your child is as interested in loving you as you are in loving them. There's no
Wow.
loss in a parent-child relationship. The child needs you and they know it. Once you are
Wow.
aware there's a gap, tell them, I realize this and this and this is not good. And I want us to fix it. First of all, what are the things I do that make you feel unloved? What are the things I do that make you feel loved? Have a conversation with the child, even if the child is 1 year old. You know something. You know you can. If it's a 1 year old, you can pick them up from today. Start spending time with them. 5 minutes. Sit down on the floor with them with their toys scattered on the floor. Do what they are doing. Follow their lead. In those minutes that you are spending to bond with them, you do not lead. They lead.
You
Do
come
what they
down
are.
to their level, become a child.
First of all, thank you. Come down to their level, wherever they play. If they are sitting on the floor, do it with them. If the child is a little older, 4, 5, 6, tell them, I haven't spent a lot of time with you. What do you want us to do? If they are teenagers, it will be a little more technical. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can. I can hear you.
Okay, so if they are older than infants, toddlers, then these are people you can talk to sit them down, express it that you love them and they are the most important thing to you in the world. Now, this is going.
I think she's glitching a bit. Please bear with us. Internet issues. Um, we've actually overstayed our time. Betty, I don't know if you can hear me, even though it's paused. This has been very good. I saw 2 other comments. I'm going to just talk about it. And I think Stajman is talking about this is where the child, it's a case it's better. And I think she's talking about where your child comes back with, let's say, frivolous injury, right? That to an adult, oh, this is nothing. Instead of saying nothing, you kiss the place, you know, and you kiss the hands just to show empathy. Unfortunately, Betty, great line. I think she's back on, is she? Yeah, okay, yay. Please, teacher is back on.
So I was talking about the different things to do for different ages.
Okay.
Can you hear me, please?
Yeah,
So,
I can. Welcome back.
thank you very much. Sorry about that.
Yes.
For infants and toddlers, I'll say just get right into playing with them. It does 5 minutes is enough for a start, and then build it up to 15 minutes because it's not a very easy thing to do. You get bored, sometimes it feels foolish, but do it. When they are old enough to have a conversation with you, let's say 4, 5, those children are just waiting to bond with you. But when they've gotten to, let's say, teenage or older, sit down with them, tell them, I haven't been the best parent, and I'm sorry. I love you, and I want us to improve our relationship. it could go very well and become very emotional, and the child will tell you all the ways they've been missing you. Or it could look bad. The child may be
Throw
indifferent,
it.
look indifferent, but they are not indifferent. What you are doing is you are healing a big wound. It will not heal from the first day. So you do this, and then whenever you are with them, I would advise you to drop everything you do and look at them in a non-distracted way. You may have a child who you can talk to. Some children will pull away when you talk too much. Know your child and get to them. I sort of lost track of what I'm trying to say. But then, first of all, apologize. It's the most important thing. Apologize. Normally, once you apologize, it could go it becomes very emotional. I'm sorry. And the child will cry. You will cry. Even if the child is not minding you, please go ahead, apologize, and ask them what you do that makes them feel loved and what you do that makes them feel unloved. And then from there, keep doing more of the love inspiring things and drop the unloving things. And then goodwill is a great force of nature. Human beings feel goodwill when it is there. Children know it more than adults. So don't
Okay.
worry. When it comes to your child, fixing a broken relationship with a child, I think will be one of the easiest relationships to fix, because the child needs you and you need them. So it's unfortunate that the relationship is broken, but first of all, knowing that there's a gap is the most important thing. Once you know there's a gap, then it will be easy to teach you what to do. But if you don't know there's a gap, then someone has to tell you there's a gap, and then you're going to deny it and plenty problems. So once you know there's a gap, already you are good. Tell the child you know there's a gap if they are at an age where they can understand, and then ask for, because you may be buying them things, cooking for them, driving them wherever they want to go, thinking this is how they feel loved. And maybe the child really just wants you to give them personal time all to themselves, to show you trust them. That's all. That's one of the things they want you to do for them, and you don't know. You're just going to keep going on and on. So it's almost like, take it like a relationship, love, romantic relationship. If you don't tell the person what you need, they could go wrong in trying their best. It's almost the same with our children, except that this is a really strong biological bond, which is going to be there forever as long as you are both alive. So I hope that helped.
Well, speaking for myself, that's I'm starting but that's powerful, and yeah, it helps and it's insightful. Even you captured a part where you were talking about a self-awareness came in there, because when I know there's a gap, I mean,
Mhm.
it's almost like when I know I have a problem, or if there's a problem, identifying the problem is, let's say, the first step to solving it. So knowing it, probably, if I should put words in my mouth, congratulations that you've acknowledged, you've recognized that
Yes,
there's a problem.
yes,
But
yeah.
don't become intimidated by it. Don't let it stop
Oh,
there. Don't say it's
no,
the
no,
easiest of tasks. And
no,
I
no,
think we are all
no.
guilty. We are all
Yes,
guilty.
yes,
So
yes, yes.
to be better. And I'm sorry, all I know, my training is engineering. So literally, I'm looking at this from the engineering point of view. That look, if you're going to be fixing cameras, if you're going to take your child to a school where there's smart app and all that, fine, good and ready. But then, if you don't put all these things in place, the emotional side, which no gadget can replace, money
No,
and stuff
no,
can't replace, then your
no.
children are not secure. I mean, I
Yes,
don't think they're even halfway there, you know.
no.
So please, let's all pay attention to it. Those who are watching live, whoever will come back to this, please, this is not a counseling session. It has a lot of aspects that might sound like counseling, but still talking about securing your child.
Yes,
And we have identified that the emotional component. It will come back to emotions. So let's start from there. And Betty Grace, I don't know, but I think there's another business stream you have to look at. I think we call it corridor of opportunity. That's child counseling. You would have to look at it. I don't know, probably when Fortified is much older, I don't know. We'll have to look for people like you and be sending references to them. Because I mean, like I'm saying, sitting with my engineering mind, there are lots of places where anything will give for child security. Like we have things like child trackers and stuff. They will fail. Because I mean, so anyway, we've overshot our time by a good 18 minutes. But this has been very good. I think it's delivered on what we promised, that this was going to be a deep dive into security. So again, to end, if it didn't sound like security and it sounds like counseling, well, it's security, and probably we are using the tools from all those places to bring that home. And ultimately, the best thing we could have done, we would have done for you in any of these series is that we would have poked your curiosity. That these are the loopholes, right? These are where the flashpoints where trouble could come in from. So when it comes to your kids, these are where trouble could be coming from. Our carelessness, our seeking convenience, not spending time with them, our treating them like adults, bringing our adult stress to them, and then we've compromised them when it comes to security. So thank you so much, Betty Grace. Betty Grace runs a very beautiful school called Hillbrook Learning Institute, and I'm sure her know-how has spoken for itself. So unfortunately, we don't have a contact here, but anybody interested, if you came through Fortified, we'll quickly link you to their contact details, and you could take it from there. There's a whole range of services they could provide for you, right from having your child on their premises for their education, or remote and all that. So we'll bring this to a close. We wish you a very good Sunday. Enjoy the rest of the day. We are so grateful you came. You give us your time to listen to this. Anybody who will be subsequently listening to this too, we are so grateful you listening to this. We hope it helps you and you find the grace and strength and courage to implement the stuff we are speaking about here. We are not in any way undermining and suggesting that anything we pointed out will be easy to implement. Not even the price, the price of schooling, taking your child to a school where they'll be safe. But then please take it as we've been taking any other challenges we've been taking in life and work on it. And let's get better with it. So that's bye-bye from us. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.